Hi everyone, I'm on page 137 of your math textbook today. I'd like to take some time and do some reviewing before we move on to area and perimeter. I'm just going to pick and choose some of these questions. We're going to do a lot of them, but not all of them. The first one I want to look at is 1B. And I come down here and you have 1/2, 3/5, and 3/10. Well, you can compare the 3/5 and the 3/10 because they both have the same numerator. Remember what I said, when you have the same numerator, look at the denominator. The larger the number, the smaller the piece. Remember, if we have to break something into 10 pieces, that means you're going to have to break it up into more pieces than the 5, so each piece is going to have to be smaller. But you're going to have to put the 1/2 into something similar to this. So we're going to say 1/2 equals what over 10? How do I get from the 2 to the 5? 2 times what gets me to, sorry, I just gave you the answer. 2 times what gets you to 10? Well, 5. What I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So if I've multiplied by 5 in the bottom, I've got to multiply by 5 in the top. 1 times 5 is 5. So come back over here. This is the same as 5/10, 3/10. And I might as well go ahead and make that into a tenth also. So 5 times what gets me to 10? 5 times 2, 5/10 gets me to 10. What I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So 3 times 2 is 6. So my 3/5 is really the same as 6/10. Now that all of these have the same denominator, I'm just going to look at the numerator and pick the smallest to the largest because I want to go from smallest to largest. Which one of these is the smallest? Well, the 3/10. So 3 over 10. Cross that off so I know I've done that. Okay, which is the next smallest? Well, 5 is smaller than 6, but I don't want to put 5/10. I want to go back up to the original problem, and that was 1/2. So 1/2 would be next, which would mean the largest piece is 6/10, which is the same as 3/5. So going from smallest to largest, 3/10, 1/2, 3/5. Okay? And remember, any of these you have questions on, you just need to let me know about. Okay? I'd like to look at number 2. Look at number 2. Each side of a triangle is 9 centimeters long. What's the total length of all the sides? Well, first of all, you have to figure out how many sides are in a triangle, T-R-I, 3 sides. So you're going to take the 9 centimeters times 3 because there are 3 sides. Well, you should all know your 3's. 9 times 3 is 27. And we're going to say centimeters because it says what's the total length of all the sides? 27 centimeters. Okay, let me skip down to 3F, and it says 1 minus 1/6 equals 3/6 plus what? Okay, well, remember I said when there's an empty one, do the side that you can do. Okay, well, 1 is not a fraction, but we can put 1 into a fraction if our denominator is going to be 6 because we have 6's like this. So what would 1 whole be? I want the same number above. So 6/6 minus 1/6 equals, remember I don't do anything with the denominator. I'm just going to work with the numerator. Remember when you're adding and subtracting fractions, if the denominator is the same, don't do anything with it, okay? Just worry about something the numerator. So 6 minus 1 is 5, okay? So now our problem would equal 5/6 equals 3/6 plus what? Okay, or if I take 5/6 minus 3/6, what does that equal? Well, remember, I'm not going to do anything with my denominator. I'm just going to work with my numerator. 5 minus 3 equals 2. 2/6. That's the correct answer, but remember what I said, they always like to have things in simplest form. Remember what the first question is. Can you divide the denominator by the numerator? Can you divide 6 by 2? Yes, you can, because they're both even numbers. Oops. 6 divided by 2 equals what? Or what times 2 equals 6? 2, 4, 6, 3. And 2 divided by 2, or what times 2 equals 2? 1. So when you say 1 minus 1/6 equals 3/6 plus what? Your answer could be 2/6 or it could be 1/3. Okay, could be either one of those. Okay, let's go back to the book. Number 4, sorry. If Tom bought a wire and cut it into 8 pieces, each piece of the wire was 30 centimeters long. Each piece was 30. He had 8 pieces. We're just going to do 30 times 8. 0 times 8 is 0. 3 times 8. So the answer could be 240 centimeters, but it wants it in meters and centimeters. Remember that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So anything, this is where our green marker could come in handy, anything hundreds and that way are going to be meters. Anything that tens and down will be centimeters. So the piece of wire that Tom bought was 2 meters and 40 centimeters long. Okay, let's try a different one. 2,500 people were at a show. 1,360 of them were men. 240 were children. The rest were women. How many women were there, and how many more adults than children were there? Well, first of all, if we start out with 2,500, that's your total, okay? 240 are children. 1,360 are men. You're looking to see how many women there are, okay? You could do this 2 different ways. You can add these 2 numbers and do the 1,360 plus the 240 and get 1,600 and then subtract it from the 2,500. You can't take 6 from 5, so you're going to have to borrow and rename. 15 minus that, 6 is 9. So 900 women. Or you could have done 2,500 minus 1,360. Minus 240. You're still going to get 900. Either way you do it, okay? So in answer to the first part, there were 900 women. How many more adults than children were there? Well, let's go back and fill this in as I'm losing my markers here. 900. So we know we have 900 men and 900 women and 1,360 men. Those are your adults. So we can add those together and get 2,260 adults. How many more adults were there than children? Well, take the 240 children off. So there were 2,020 more adults than children. Again, if you come across any of these and they don't make sense, please let me know. Let's try to do number 6. As in, I'm trying to erase, let's look at this. So Nicole made 286 cookies. She gave 30 cookies away and sold the rest for $1, okay? $1 for 8 of them. Ooh, so we're gonna get a little bit complicated here, but we can do this. So we're starting with 286, and we're gonna take away 30 because she gave those away. Those are nothing, okay? And we're gonna get 256. Well, if we're grouping these other ones together at 8 apiece, oh, here comes that division. 256 divided by 8. 8 times what? Well, 0 gets you there. Bring down my 5. 8 times what gets you close to 25? Well, 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 25 minus 24 is 1. Bring down my 6. 8 times what gets you to 16? 2. So she sold the rest at $1 for 8, so she would have made $32. Okay, let's go on to page 138. 138. How many sides and angles does a hexagon have? Hexa. Remember this H-E-X and S-I-X are very similar. So it has 6 sides and 6 angles. How many equal sides does an equilateral triangle have? It would have 3 equal sides. And how many right angles does a rectangle have? Remember, the definition of a rectangle is opposite sides are equal and 4 right angles. Okay. If Anna, Peter, and John share a pizza, Anna and Peter had 2/5. 1/5 plus 1/5 is 2/5. 5/5 minus the 2/5 is 3/5. So John would have had 3/5. If Tom's house is 1 meter from the park, so total of 1 meter, okay?